Now that we are done with the prerequisites required for programming screencast of evolution, so now let us start with the program of evolution. Here we are given a DNA file named DNA_data. As explained earlier, evolution process happens through DNA and it has some coded information in the form of zeros and ones. So we are given this particular information, zeros and ones. So first of all, we have to read this file that has the coded information. I hope that you have watched the previous programming screencast in which we explained how to handle files through Python. So I'll just be using that straight away. So I'll just write with open. My file name is DNA_txt, DNA_data.txt as my file. So I'll just read it. I'll read it bit by bit and store it in X. So I'll just write myfile.read. As explained, read is used to read the file. Read function is used to read the file here. I'll also make X as a list so that we can use it as a list. We have a list of zeros and ones and we need to store it in list, so I'll just convert it into list. We have 10,000 bits given in that DNA file. So I'll just call a function on these 10,000 bits. So I'll just write for I in range 0 to 10,000. I'll call a function evolve here, evolve x. Now that we are done with reading the file, we have also created a list X that stores the DNA information. I'll just call the function evolve on that particular list, and that is X. So I'll just define it. Define evolve. This is called on the function, this is called on the list X. So I'll just write index here. I want to generate an index randomly in the list X. I repeat, I want to generate an index randomly in the list X. So to generate randomly, we use, as I explained, random library. So I'll just write random.randint. We have to generate from 0 to length of the X. As explained, in random.randint you have to specify the range, and for that range the both ends, the upper limit and the lower limit, they both are inclusive. Then I also need to generate another variable randomly here. I'll call it p. I'll again use the random int function here, random.randint, and I need to generate it from 1 to 100. So the algorithm that we are using here is, if this particular variable p, if it will be equal to 1, then only the change will take place. So I'll just write here, if p is equal to 1, then only the change will take place. If the bit at index position at I and D is equal to 0, then it will be changed to 1, is equal to 1. Else it will be changed to 0, obviously. So I'll explain again. What we are doing here is, we are generating two variables randomly here. First is the index of the variable of the particular bit in which change has to take place. This change actually depends on the variable p, which will generate randomly. If this particular variable p will be equal to 1, then only the change at this particular index I and d will take place. If x at I and d is equal to 0, then it will be changed to 1, otherwise it will be changed to 0. So first of all, it all depends on p. If the p that has been generated randomly here is equal to 1, then only the particular bit at I and d position in x will be changed. The change will take place. This is how we are using the evolve function here. So now we are done with reading the file. We are also done with defining the evolve function here. So I'll just print here again. I'll just print x again. So let me do that. Let me run it again. So there is some error, that is list index out of range. So I'll just look into it. We have I and d here and we are generating it from 0 to length of x. So here is the problem. We are generating till length of the x. We should generate it from length of x minus 1. Since we know that randint generates the random values in which the both ends of the range are inclusive. The upper limit and lower limit are inclusive, and we have in list the numbers that are generated, the indices values are always from 0 to length minus 1. I repeat, in list we always have indices values from 0 to length minus 1. Okay, if we are given a list of length 5, then we have indices in list as 0, 1, 2, 3 or 4. We don't have 5 here. And random.randit generates random values in which both ends of the range are inclusive. So we have to write length of x minus 1. In this particular case, the problem will be solved. So let us run it again. So we have an array here again. The list that we read from that particular file, it has come out here. So you can actually print the p and I and d values and check whether the change is taking place or not. So I'll just print the p values and see whether the change is taking place or not. So let me print it. So it is generating 10,000 times. So let me see whether the value is 1 at a particular instance or not. So let us look at it. We have 78, 85, 51. Till now I haven't encountered 1. Oh, here we have 1. So in this particular case we have 1. So in this particular case the change would have taken place. Okay, you can always dry run it and check whether the change is taking place or not. We have 1 again. So in this particular case the change will take place, otherwise the change will not take place. Please note the fact in mind. So I don't think we have another one here. Let us check it again. So you can dry run this particular algorithm, this particular program, and see whether the change is taking place or not. I hope this programming screencast was useful to you guys. Have a nice day. Happy learning.